we do everything for women. It's the truth. Like, men do everything for women. That is the natural humanity of human, right? There are many people saying that, as a man, we do everything for ourselves, and we don't rely on women, something like that. And but still, I mean, at the same time, they're still what's important. They're still seeking certain emotional support from the woman. So in today's topic, I want to say that there's nothing wrong with do it for women, because that's how human works. I mean, the man has its unique value, and the woman has the unique value. But the problem is that the society today, the man has less and less of the masculinity, the man's value, and the woman has less and less of the feminine value. And that's why that's why men and women don't need each other, because they cannot get what they want. So that's why many people saying the woman is useless, or many women saying man is useless, because that is because of the lack of the awareness of who you are. I mean, if you are biologically a man, and if there's no interfere from the society or how the social media brainwash you, the feminist or the equality, every single man will naturally grow up as a muscular person. Every single man, because that's how human nature are built. And every single woman will grow up with the feminine energy. So one of the reasons that the women don't want to be the woman anymore, and the men don't want to be the man anymore, is because they're afraid to take the responsibility of their life. There is some necessary things and responsibility that men should do, and there's also responsibility that the woman should do. For example, as a man, we need to take care of the other people around us, which means that we need to have a strong physique, we need to work out and do the hard work. Man is designed to create things, man should be productive, and we develop things, and that takes time, and that takes hard work, and you have to endure the long and boring process in order to achieve something in your life. That's the man's job, when they grow up. And for many people that I know, including me, the truth is that if we know we have to go through this path, the man's path, we need to do the hard work, and we need to take the responsibility in order to get the woman, in order to achieve something in our life. We would 100% want it to do it. But the problem is that with the brainwash from the social media, seeing that man and woman are equal, man can be weak, it's okay to be weak, and so many stuff like this, and that gave us the wrong concept. We don't have to take the responsibility as a man, we don't have to do the hard work. Men don't need to work out, and men don't have to be strong, and men can show their emotions. Many stuff like that is really making me a man that refuse to take his responsibility as a man, and the same thing for the woman. There are tons of thousands of things, news articles writing about how female can be completely independent. So the origin of the concept of feminist, it come from the end of the Second World War, where the female because in the time during the war, the females had to come out to prepare the food, to work in the hospital, because all the men went to the battlefield. So the society needs them, and when the war is over, the woman had experienced, stepping outside the room, to serve for the society. They don't want to be back anymore, They enjoy working in the society, and that's the origin of the feminist. The reason for that is they are also needed in society. they also need to take responsibility of taking care of the man working in the hospital, working in the kitchen, preparing the food. They also need to take responsibilities. Being feminist does not mean you can avoid the responsibility as a woman. But now in today's society, I think the feminist has been so exaggerated. There are also like things called man hating. I don't know why it's called like man hating. Because still if we see the top guys in the society who make the highest income and also make the highest value towards society is still men, because that's how men are biologically made. Men's responsibility is to take care of the woman from the very ancient time to now, because that is how human works. So I think for the people saying that you don't do this for women, you do it for self, hell no, because doing it for women is men's responsibility too. Men are in charge of taking care of the woman. But the thing is like slightly different to now, because many women refuse to be the woman. Many women refuse to take their responsibility as a woman. So that's why we don't want to do it for them. Because you see, I mentioned this before, it's the value exchange. Only if the woman provide her responsibility, provide her value to you, then you take in charge as a man's role to pay her back. So like for example, man's making money and he let woman spend his money, and in return he will get the sex from that woman and also the services or something like that. So it's always the value exchange, like yin and yang, right? And because of that, the fact that many people trying to avoid their responsibility as a man or as a woman, and that create the unbalancing of the value. If I do this if I take my responsibility as a man, I made money, I let you spend my money, and then you just do nothing, and if the woman refuse to provide sex, refuse to play her role as a woman, and then why should man do his responsibility to her? It's not fair anymore. So, but still, there's still many women in society that is willing to pay her price, play her role, taking her responsibility as a woman. But there's still a part of the woman that refuse to take responsibility. So do it for women is not a problem. We should do it for women, but we do it for the real woman, for the woman that refuse to take her responsibility as a woman. We're not gonna do it for them. But for the women who are willing to take responsibility, provide you her family energy, and that's the real qualified woman that we as a man should work hard for and should protect her, to take our responsibility as a man. So I think there's nothing wrong with doing it for women. We have to recognize what kind of the woman should we work towards. We have to avoid all these toxic women in society that drain our value and refuse to provide any value to us. So we have to distinguish these people, the good women, and there's nothing wrong for us to work hard for them, provide value for them, and to take our responsibility as a man.